You've been setting goals backwards, and here's why. So you set a goal. You're really excited. You started strong, but then something happened. Days, maybe weeks went by, and you just can't really put your finger on what went wrong or what you're even feeling. But progress turned into perpetually stuck. And the worst part is, it happens every year. Year after year after year. We live in the age of information. We have access to everything at our fingertips. And it's not just keeping up with the Joneses next door anymore, like it was for our parents. We compare ourselves and feel like peers with celebrities, influencers, basically everyone you've ever met, along with a couple thousand that you only know virtually every single day. No, the back one. Okay, now keep it. There we go. Usually I put it on medium. Waffle there. Got a little burned. I think our brains and our bodies and our souls just weren't created for this much input. Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you're just burned out. If you're watching this video, it means you have access to the internet, which means that you aren't fighting hunter-gatherer enemies like half of the world population is today.
The fire was dead and then get the syrup. Put syrup on maple syrup butter.
Most likely, you're focused on overcoming abstract, sometimes entirely internal obstacles like self-doubt and comparison. And I think it helps to bring awareness to this first because you can't find a lasting solution to a problem without discovering the real root. Laziness, procrastinating, falling short on goals, it's not a character flaw. Often, it's just a symptom of another deeper issue. Let's talk about what that is so that you can start setting goals the right way, the way that really nourishes you. Let me give you an example from my own life. When I was 18, I graduated high school and went off to college. I got good grades and made lots of friends, but as the months went by, I was really unhappy. So I transferred to another bigger name school, and I felt the same. Just lost, lazy, confused, and kind of perpetually stuck. 3 years later, I eventually dropped out of school entirely and started working at Target. Definitely not the dream, but guess what? I felt like me again. Maybe you didn't achieve your goal because you just didn't want to in the first place. There's so much pressure to look a certain way, drive a certain car, have a home with a certain vibe, and it's all for other people's approval. I think so many of us are stretched too thin that we don't even remember what our intuition sounds like anymore. Sometimes procrastinating and getting stuck in a rut on a goal is actually your intuition telling you, hey, this isn't you. Maybe you're just not meant to be doing that thing. When you can be anything, all the colors in the palette, anything you want, man, that just kills creativity. Before you ever set goals, you have to give yourself space and time to rest and to connect with yourself. In the past couple hundred years, humans have become workaholics, but we used to walk places. We had time to digest things between other things. We would stare up at the stars as we would wait for sleep to come, rather than scroll our phones or listen to a podcast. Maybe you don't need another diet or goal or exercise plan. Maybe you just need a good rest. This can look like taking a day off, cleaning your house, having a nap, maybe a good cry, making your favorite meal, going for a walk, getting some sunlight, reading a favorite book, getting a good night of sleep, decluttering some stuff that's in your way or making for way too many tabs on in your brain, turning off your phone or your Wi-Fi, leafing through a good book or magazine that really inspires you. From this place, I think you can be brave enough, grounded enough to know which goals are yours and which aren't, which I think in our modern age is the hardest part of achieving anything. It's a good looking fire tent. Next, and possibly most importantly, you gotta start romanticizing your life. Most of our days are spent in the ordinary. You have to start creating these beautiful, ordinary experiences for yourself. Turning regular, dreary tasks into pleasurable ones. It's not that thing. It's probably time to plant that. As I write this, I'm sitting on a daybed near our window listening to beautiful music with a cup of my favorite tea. I could be at a desk, but this is just more enjoyable. Maybe that task, necessary to your goal, assuming that it's a goal true to you, could be more enjoyable. One last thing, if your goal filtered through all the way to this point and it's really truly you, just remember, just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening. There you go, what plant? That appears to be a weed. Okay, so I've been growing a lot of things that are weeds thinking they're carrots. Cool. Say it with me. I'm letting go of the past, the things I can't control, the worrying, the hurrying, the wondering what others think of me, the staying busy to avoid how I feel, and I'm walking into the most soul-nourishing, successful year of my life. Good things are coming. Good things are coming. I personally had to take a few years away from goal setting to finally come back to it fully me. And I go into depth and detail about how to finally set goals that align with your values in my course. So if you're ready to go deeper on this, then I can't wait to work with you and walk you through the unlearning process so that you can set goals that are really you in our class over there. Somehow we always eat it concrete.